Hello everyone, my name is Christian and welcome to my hobby blog. So today I wanted to wrap up my May reading progress, I guess. So if you haven't seen really many videos, I did a 24-hour marathon. I graduated like right at the beginning of the month, so this is a much more intensive month for me in how many books I read. The final count is 9 books, 2 of which I DNF'd, but I read about half each. So I guess technically I read 8 books, so lengthwise. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the first one I read is the Witcher book, Blood of Elves. This is the first one after the short story collections. I was a little wary going in because nobody really likes the main novels. I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of politicking in this. We finally get Geralt and Ciri like talking with each other and hanging out. We get a lot of Yennefer and her training Ciri. So it is very much a slow book, but I really liked it because most of it was politicking. And I'm curious to see if the TV show will adapt this, because this is like a 2 episode, like how much plot happened. A lot of it is people just standing around talking, but I really liked it. I gave it a, I think, 4 out of 5 on Goodreads, so I really like this. I think if you're a fan of the show or the short story collections, keep going. I don't know why people say they don't like it. Maybe because it is very political and, trade routes and trade policies and, who's ruling who, who's fed up with who, so on and so forth. So this was the first book I read. I read it in like a day or two, maybe. These books go by really fast. I really like these. And then I actually have my Goodreads up right now because I don't remember what order I read everything in, but the next one was book 8 of the Wheel of Time, Path of Daggers. I love this cover so much. If you haven't already, I did a review with Cheyenne. It was about 2.5 hours. It was our longest one, aside from Fires of Heaven. But I really loved this book. It was a very strong 4 out of 5 for me. I love the politicking in this book. I loved all the slow sections. I think Rand's story was really good. Perrin sucked in this, but I think it was Igraine and Nynaeve. They were really good in this book. Avienda's still one of my favorite characters. So I don't want to talk about too much because it's book 8. There's lots of spoilers. But I really like this one. This was definitely not part of the slog. So next is one that I was reading during my 24-hour readathon, and it is Richard Matheson's I Am Legend. I loved this book, another 4 out of 5. This was a really good month for reading, but my issue is with the book itself. It's actually I Am Legend plus like 5 short stories by the author, and there's nothing to show that on the cover, on the back, even like in the book itself. It kind of just ends with that famous line, I am legend. And then I was like, wait, like I know that line. That's like the famous last end. And I was like, here it is. And then I turned the page like halfway, and it was like, bury talents. And it was like halfway, and I was like, what the fuck? So I was like really pissed off from that because I was like 10 pages away from finishing, like before I went to bed, and I should have just kept going. So I'm definitely going to pick up the graphic novel. I've heard that one is really good. So I'm probably going to leave this in my local take one, grab one, or leave one, grab one of those like book exchange mailboxes basically that you find around campuses, churches, so on and so forth. But I love this book. This was really good. One of my favorite reads of this month. So the next one, I am very happy to say that I am finally going beyond the Cosmeo. This is part of my 24-hour readathon. It is Brandon Sanderson's Skyward. It's his YA space adventure book. Not much adventuring going on, actually, but I really enjoyed it. Doesn't look short, but it was actually pretty short. The font is big. Each chapter is like 5 to 10 pages. Lots of mysteries, so on and so forth. And I really, really enjoyed this book. I'm eagerly waiting to pick up book 2. This is actually one of my friend's copies, so I'm going to pick up book 1 and 2, and then book 3, Cytonic. That just got announced, the title and the cover. I'm probably actually going to buy the first 3 books on Book Depository, because I do not really care for the American covers. The UK ones are just to die for. All of his books on UK covers are really good. So, but this is going to be weird, but I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought this was a near perfect book. The pacing was really good. I love the dialogue, the stories, everything that he hinted at was wrapped up in a nice bow. It reminded me of Hero of Ages in the way that he just wraps up everything so well. Except it's like one book. There was no slog in this book. Maybe in the beginning, because I'm not much of a YA guy. So I know some people were saying that this book is like very definitely YA and the tropes. And I was like, I don't know the tropes of YA. I don't read YA. So I really liked it. I think for those who don't want to read 16 or whatever books that are out now in the Cosmere, you can read this instead. It's going to be a 4-book series. Book 3 is coming out later this year, in November, I believe. So that was Skyward. Okay, there we go. Alright. What did I read next? Yeah. So this was the final book I read during the my 24-hour readathon. I finished it, I think, a day later. I did finish Skyward and I Am Legend the day during it. But this was Cassandra Clare's City of Bones. The tag is in the way, but this is City of Bones. I loved this just as much as I did Skyward. I think I gave it a 4, though, because it did take a while for it to kick in. It was like chapter 5 or 6, called like the 5-dimension door. This is when I really kind of got hooked. But one thing I'm having an issue with is that I didn't realize there were like 20 books in this series. But I heard that each one is split up into like a trilogy, at most 5 books, like in a row, like for a story. So I'm looking forward to it. I really liked it. I love the dialogue. I love the interactions. The shipping was a lot of fun to try and figure out. But I'm really happy I picked this up. I got it for 95 cents. So it was a good deal. I really liked it. So that was City of Bones. The next one, I had to bend over to the ground. The next one is one I did not care for at all. I loved the prologue and the last chapter, and Elaine's story, and that is book 9 of The Wheel of Time, Winter's Heart. I love this cover, although none of these characters showed up in this book, but I really liked it. I mean, I'm uploading the review sometime soon. I'm filming this on June 1st, Tuesday. I'm hoping to upload it tomorrow on Wednesday the 2nd. So hopefully that's out. I actually have like 3 or 4 videos ready to go already, like that I'm posting and scheduling. So yeah, this was one of the shortest episodes I did on a Wheel of Time book. It was an hour and 10 minutes, I think. Did not care for this book. This is the sloggiest book so far. Crown of Swords, I had an issue with that and Matt's storyline. And again, Matt was a huge issue in this book. So yeah, book 9. I'm getting up there. So the next 2 are actual ebooks. that I read. They were all free copies that I got. So the first one was The Unspoken Name by A.K. Lockwood. So I got this for free from Toy. I was interested in the premise of it about an orc who decides not to sacrifice herself to a god, and someone saves her, and like they go adventuring. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, this would be interesting. And I got like the first few chapters in, and I was like, this is such a slog. Like the first chapter was really good, and then there was like 10 chapters of boring. And then we entered part 2, and it got exciting again for me. And then I read after like the incident at the beginning of part 2, I was like, I don't care anymore, and I DNF'd it at 50 something percent. So I try to keep before I DNF something, I want to give it at least 50% progress. And it's really easy on Kindle to do that because it just tells you on the bottom. But I really did not care for this book at all. None of the characters had any personality. There was no, like, goals for the characters. Like, our main character literally is just, like, trying to survive. But she's, like, super skilled and there's no danger in her life. And so I was, like, really bored by that. And then, like, between part 1 and 2 in the story, because it jumps, I think, 5 or 10 years, she's like suddenly hating the person who like gave her life and was protecting her. And so there's like drama between that, but we didn't see why they hate each other anymore. We just opened to the first page and it's like, I hate mentor character. And it was like, okay. And I read like 2 more chapters and I gave up. So that was Unspoken Name, A.K. Lockwood, DNF'd. So the next one is one I actually got for free. It's a review copy that I got from NetGalley, HBC Press, I believe, is the publisher. I want to thank them for sending me this, but this was another DNF, unfortunately. I wrote a whole review on it on my Goodreads. So this is Kali Cry by Rosie Craney Higgs. It's a horror fiction novel about a family that is split up. The parents are killed or have gone missing, and then the 2 daughters escape from Whiteland, which is like a supernatural dimension or something. And we follow them, and I read about 50% of it, and I said, this is literally just plot for plot, like, not ripped off, but it's a little too similar to the plot of Cassandra Clare's City of Bones. And I mean, it's literally like almost the same, except this is in like Europe, while City of Bones is in America, New York City. And this was really hard for me to read. I wrote a whole thing on Goodreads. I'll try to remember to put that in the description, but this was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like pissing me off. It was well written, and I liked the pacing. Well, I liked the flow of the writing. The pacing of the story was not that good, because one big event would happen, and then our characters would stand around in a room and be like, wow, that was scary, wasn't it? And they do that for like 30 pages, and then something else would happen. And I was like, okay, like, move on. And I gave up around the point where we had a very similar event to when, I'm trying to remember her name, Clarissa from City of Bones has like a very low point in the story, and older male figure who has been looking after her comes in and helps her, and then they kiss. And I said, yep, this is too close for me in terms of like that and City of Bones. So I gave up on it, DNF'd it, left a review, because I have to leave a review or my account gets like heavily downvoted by the publisher, because they are offering free editions of the book. So it's a really cool cover though. I thought the writing style was good. It's just the plot was what kept me back, and the characters. So, Kali Cry. I think I'm saying it right. I hope I am. So, I read one more book this month, and that was Michael Crichton's Andromeda Strain. I actually read this in a day. I started it yesterday, Monday, and then finished it this afternoon. It was a really good read, very scientific, very dry. Same comments that I had from Jurassic Park. My only issue with this is that it was pretty like low scope. Like there was a lot of things happening that had huge implications for like the entire world. It's a nonfiction story, but like it just kind of gets hand waved at the end. So the ending was like, okay. I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, where Jurassic Park I gave it a 5 out of 5. I loved Jurassic Park, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, I really liked it, but this is his first book, so he didn't have like pacing right. The dialogue was really great. It was very informative about genetics and chemistry and so on and so forth. So that was Michael Crichton's Andromeda Strain. That is all the books I read. All this big stack, and then 2 ebooks. So I really liked most of these. Some of them I loved. I am looking forward to June. I will be filming a June video soon. This is the 4th video I hear that I have ready to go for tomorrow for pre-uploading at my work. And I may not put any more on my flash drive because there's really not much space left on my flash drive. So hopefully I can get everything uploaded. But thank you all for watching. This was a really good month. I'm hoping June is much better. And I hope everyone liked this video. Thank you for watching.